Good day. Welcome to CQG's Desktop. Desktop starts right here at m.cqg.com. If you throw that in there in a web browser, they'll bring you this window where you can log in with your credentials. You can also request a free demo as well. If you click Resources, or if you Google, I should say, CQG Desktop Resources, we do recommend Chrome, Safari, and Edge, and you can see a lot of the brief snapshot of all the features we do have. But once you log into desktop here, it's going to pop up a window, and it's going to have a default window. Now, this is a window and page that I've made here, but if you see here to the left of the CQG icon, you're going to see these three horizontal bars. This is where you can get into the menu. You can compress it down if you like. And if you see, I have a white color right here. Some people like black. It's all about preferences. If you jump down there, that's under this preference button here. And preferences is where you can search for a preference, like, oh, I want to see I need OCO orders. It's going to try to find the menu that you want. Change password right here, language, English, theme, white. If you want black, you can go ahead and put black right there under theme. Buy cell colors, you can change those as well, and the price movement if you prefer the opposites like they do in a lot of other countries. Price format as well is here. If you left click price format, this is where I can say, hey, maybe I'm used to looking at bonds and notes and things and fractions or decimals. So go ahead, left click there. Layout, this is where if you like the mobile layout you have on your phone, you could use that as well here. So I'm going to leave that at desktop. This is where you can turn on the trade symbols, trade settings. So if you left click there, this is where you're probably going to find most of the settings. And you'll see here, this is where you'll get into like, okay, maybe I need OCOs on. I'm going to make sure I have those on. If I come over here, and a lot of it's toggle based. So if you just left click here, you'll see it turn blue. Now I'm enabled for bracket and OCO orders, as well as trailing stops, trailing limits, icebergs. That is here as well. You'll see there's a lot of different settings from order sizes, types, and advanced. Go ahead and go back there. A lot of different settings here from confirmations. Do I want confirmations on when I'm placing orders? I can leave those on right here, or I can have them off. I'm going to leave them off right now, as well as notifications. Do I want a sound when I get a fill or a partial fill or orders rejected? And again, a lot of stuff right there to look at. We're going to jump right in here. It all starts right here on the left-hand side. You'll see more. You may see new page here, and this is our add page, and this is where you'll want to start. So if we left click and we hit add page, I'm going to say empty page. I'm going to give it a name, new page. Go ahead and hit OK. And if you look, it's going to try to help you. It's going to bring up all these things maybe we need right now, but if I go ahead and hit candle for chart here, it's going to bring up a chart. Charts, everything in a chart is, you just want to get used to looking for like this little gearbox here. This is where you can say, okay, I do need a continuation chart. Do I want, your colors? Well, here you go. You can see those there. You also see add study right below it. This is where you can add your studies. If I'm saying, okay, I want a VWAP, I also want an RSI, I'm going to hit add and put those on there for you. You could also right click in the chart. If you go to right click in the chart, this is where you could add studies. You can manage your chart settings as well. Info on the symbol. What am I looking at? What are my contract specs for corn right here? I could also right click. I could also just buy and sell as well. I can say, oh man, I need to buy corn right now. I can go ahead and bring up an order ticket, or I should say a DOM trader. There's also an order ticket as well, and you can close after you do the trade. If we right click again, you can liquidate, cancel all orders, go flat, show crosshairs, and you can reset chart as well. If you go down to the bottom, you're going to see this is where you can change your symbol of your chart. You also see the 60-minute here. This is where you can change, if I want a 1-minute chart, do I want a custom chart? I'm going to say I want a 3-minute interval chart. You could also, to the right of that, you'll see this is where you can change. Do I want a Henkin-Ashi chart, bar chart, volumes? If you see this little eyeball, this is where you can turn on and off. Do I want to view, if I have it on, do I want to see like open, high, low, last? This gear as well is where you'll see, this is where I can add RSIs, see the studies, things I've got on my chart. And to the upper right-hand side of the chart, this is where you'll see these 3 dots. These 3 dots you'll see in a lot of these windows, and this is just another way of getting into another menu. And you can see a lot of times there's different settings there, like show market buttons. With that, show market buttons, on the bottom right-hand side, you'll see these 2 arrows, and this is where you can go ahead and left-click there, and you can see that you can bring up market. You can trade just from the chart here. So if I'm like, oh, I'm going to want to left-click here, put a buy in the corn, 321, go ahead, hit buy. Actually, the market's trading right there. We'll go ahead and hit that. You could add your orders that way as well. I'm going to go ahead, you'll see these orders working. I can go ahead and left click here. You'll see this number up here. It says 2, so I've got 2 orders working. Click there, I can park all, I can get rid of all of these. But again, that's if you like trading from the chart. This is where you also, on the upper right hand side, you have your crosshairs. Do I want crosshairs? Do I want to make trend channels? You know, do I left click here, draw here? I want to draw these lines. And you'll see, you know, Fibonacci's. There's a lot of different tools over here on the right. Text, boxes, things I want. Magnets just going to snap these lines closer to the highs and lows to use it. And then we could also just hit remove all drawing tools with this delete option here. Well, we've added a chart, and we see if we go on all the way on the left-hand side, we see we've got a chart, we've got quotes. If we left-click on charts, this is where you're going to get, again, all those examples. If we left-click on quote, this is where we can add quote spreadsheets, time and sales. There's a lot of different symbols, so it's getting used to doing that. Like if we go ahead and we hit quote spreadsheet here, it's going to bring up this window of opening a list. We can make a list of all our own commodities by hitting new list, and I'm saying, oh, I want crude, I want S&P. You know, here is Eurodollars. And if we know the symbol, we can just type it in. If I'm like, oh, I need silver up here. And I can also just start typing like corn. It's going to try to help you find what symbol you're looking for. I'm just going to go ahead and OK there with that. And if you look, this is this style of quote board. Now, if you look, the chart went away. This is what you have to get used to. Is it always is anything you add from this left-hand side is going to add it to one of these tabs. And once you have it added to the tabs, this is where you can drag it out and set it where you want. So now I have a chart. I've got my tab. And that's something definitely to get used to, because say, for an example, if I want an options window, I'll come down here, left click options, I'll click, and you look at added it to the quote spreadsheet section. And here I can just left click and I can say, you know what, I want to make sure I've got my options here that I can see. If we come to this quote spreadsheet right here, if you'll see there's these, where it says quote spreadsheet, to the right you've got this little circle. This is where we can mark colors and we can combine everything. So here I'm blue, blue. I'm going to combine my options page as well. So now when I click on my board, if I click on silver, it's going to bring up the options. It's going to bring up the chart. It's just a nice, quick, easy way to trade. If you come all the way over here to the right-hand side of this window, you're going to see those 3 dots again. If I left click there, this is where I can manage columns. If you're like, okay, I need, let's see what columns we have here. Maybe I want to put, you know, what was the high yesterday? There's a lot of different columns, volume, things like that. You can go ahead and scroll through delta, you know, the net change of what I'm looking at as well. Maybe we'll add net change and last trade in percent. We'll just go ahead and hit add, throw that up here. Okay, so you can hit these buy and sell buttons again in the quote board, and it's going to bring up this hot order ticket you can select, or as well as this old school order ticket if you like that. Go ahead and click these again. You can kind of see you can move a lot of this information around. You could also right click anywhere in here. If I right click on crude here in the quote board, I can buy, sell, cancel these orders, change the colors, open a chart. You can just remove it from there as well. If we come all the way back to the left-hand side here, this is where you have news. I could add news. We're adding a new RSS feature, so you can add more of your own customizing news here. But here is just a new scraper right here. Messages, that's just if you have errors and things like that, that'll be there. We can, you can add that to a window as well. And then there's App Store, which is new, utilities as well. You'll see formulas and symbols list. These are some customization things that we can go more in depth in later on. But it's really once you have your page, you see you can kind of save your page, and you can keep adding pages. If you want to say, hey, I need a new page, new page, new page. You could also share your page. Like here, you can share the link to the page. If you look here, like I've got this page here. I've got all these different styles. Like here's a heat map, right? That's found again under quotes. If I want to say, hey, I want a heat map, I want a split quote board, I want time and sales. It's just getting used to left clicking here, finding that, and then dragging it out of the window. So again, if I go here, if I'm like, oh, I'm going to left click on trade. And this is where I should say you're going to find a lot of the information like orders filled, canceled. Like say I do want a filled tab in this window, it's going to put it in wherever window I had last highlighted. But here's my fills. I don't have any fills right now, but I can left click here, see my accounts. I'll hit OK. Do I have any fills there? If I look, nope. I can, same with my order ticket here. I can go ahead and look.